what it means to be an American. America is freedom, and freedom is special and rare.
We, the people of this great nation.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
We, the people of this great nation.
Good morning, my fellow Americans. And yes, freedom is rare and special. And we should definitely be grateful that we have that so far as of right now. Because the way this country's headed, Joe Biden, again, continues to wreck this country apart. It doesn't change. Nothing's changed. This guy's wrecking the country, executive order at a time. But on a positive note, you get to laugh at all your friends that voted for Joe Biden. So that is positive. And I am a little optimistic. Dr. Q, okay? Dr. Q did inform me of something that I had already kind of verified that made me get a little suspicious about the whole QAnon conspiracies. Not so much I'm not on board, but yeah, it does raise some eyebrows. Well, let's talk about some of the interesting stuff that has occurred today. Donald Trump has opened an office of the former president of the United States, affairs of the former president of the United States, located in Palm Beach, West Palm Beach, Florida. Apparently, I'm not sure, rumor has it Ivanka Trump is planning on running for senator against Marco Rubio. That's some interesting stuff as well. Apparently, Joe Biden just continues to fuck up the country. That's going to be very common news every single day because that is exactly what he's doing. But you know what? He's doing us all a favor because at the end of the day, he's just making everybody realize what a bad choice they made. I mean, listen, I'm having people respond to me on Facebook defending saying, at least we have an honorable man in the office. Like, seriously? Like, that's the best you can come up with? Because you know he's fucking up the country, so you can't give me any answers to anything I'm saying. Meanwhile, poor Rudy Giuliani. Aside from his hair dripping in hair dye, the man is being sued for $1.3 billion by Dominion. Problem is, Dominion would have to show in discovery their systems if it was to go to court. Don't know if that's an advantage for Trump or not, or for Rudy Giuliani. They cannot wipe out the machines either. So this might get interesting. Don't know if this plays a part in anything. But just saying, gas prices are going up. We already know this. I mean, people all over the United States are complaining about the jobs they've lost. We already know this. We didn't think he was going to do it. I mean, Joe, take your time. Take your time. You do not have to wreck the country in the first week. You got 4 years to do it. You don't have to do it so fast. I mean, seriously, man. It's insane to me. It's insane what this guy's doing to this country. And of course, we've all realized already that COVID is pretty much bullshit. Apparently, ICU during the lockdowns in California were at 2,500. Soon as the lockdowns were removed, capacities went up to 6,000. Bullshit, telling you. I'm calling bullshit on COVID-19. I'm calling it. Aside from that, Trump continues, and this is not my words, this is somebody else's words, but Trump continues to...
John Trump incited the erection.
At Washington, D.C., Donald Trump continues to incite erections, and apparently he doesn't stop. He's a lean, mean erection machine. What can I tell you? Everybody loves to hate him. They can't stop talking about him. They don't know what else they could say about him. And news is boring without him. Again, for us right-wingers, it's fun to watch Joe Biden make mistakes. Unfortunately, his mistakes are actually costing people's lives, their livelihoods. And that is pretty sad. But maybe sometimes people have to see the darkness before they could, be in the darkness before they see the light. We told you. Donald Trump was the president. He's the president of the American people. Right now, you are seeing the left showing us they are completely the opposite of what he's lied about everything. Everything on the campaign trail. He said COVID-19 that he would have a plan. Now apparently he has no plan. Apparently he says that he has that the trajectory of the pandemic cannot be changed. Joe, you lied to us so many times, Joe. You lied to your voters on continuous occasions, on so many different things. I just can't come up with them right now on the top of my head because, again, I mean, I've seen some of the recent things that he said in reference to a bunch of things. What was one of the most recent stuff? He was going to be a job creator, quite the opposite, job killer. Says he wasn't going to eliminate the oil business so quick. Well, again, lied to us on that. Let me see. What else? Guns. He's taxing them. He wants to do a tax on your weapons. Yes, just because you own a gun, you're gonna get taxed on it. I mean, again, look, everybody from Newt Gingrich to everybody says the same exact thing. Biden says one thing, does another. I mean, he does the complete opposite, does a complete 180, and it's devastating our entire country. And we are here, and we are paying the consequences of it. Unfortunately, the left decided, even though we feel like the election was rigged, and in my hearts of heart, I do feel the election was rigged. But unfortunately, they're going to continue this. They're going to continue to try to kill the mega movement. It's not going to work. I'm proud to say that I believe Trump is not planning on changing the political party. I think he's just planning to dismantle it and recreate it himself with the vision that he has for America and picking candidates that have the same vision. That being set aside, I mean, it's obvious to everyone looking from the outside in, and you look at this man, and you know for a fact that Joe Biden is far from being capable of running a country. You know it. You know Joe Biden's far from being capable of running a country. And he's showing it to us every single day. So, apparently, they've already brought the articles of impeachment. And it's a sad moment in our country because, honestly, to put us through this, he says he wants to unify us. He's obviously doing the complete opposite. The last thing he wants to do is unify anybody. He has no intent of unifying the American people. Absolutely no intent of unifying. That is a complete lie. And the left, the Antifa movement is continuing to push forward. They're continuing to destroy cities. Do you think Joe Biden's condemning any of it? No, he's not. You know why? Because he doesn't care. He already got what he wanted. He tricked the black community. I've got friends of mine that are African Americans that are telling me, damn, I made a mistake. It's just to me, it's insane that people can actually have been duped by this man. We already knew when he was speaking that he wasn't all there in the head. It's obvious that he's not even making these executive decisions. They're being made by somebody else, and he's just signing on them. Now, insurrection. I want to go back to the whole insurrection thing that it's going into the Senate. It's not going to happen. Reality check. It's not going to happen. They need to get 2/3 of the Senate to vote on it. Any senator that votes on that, they know they lost their political career. Mike Pence, you're dead. You're done. Your political career is dead. You have no political career. Everybody knows you're a rhino. You turned your back on President Trump when he needed you. And anybody who does the same, they're done. I mean, Maxine Waters continues to push, we must get rid of Donald J. Trump. Listen, this is a woman that should be impeached on inciting violence. I mean, if we're setting the standards so low. Again, we do have Dr. Q here. Dr. Q.
Hey, what's up, man? Dr. Q.
You son of a gun. You messed up. You forgot to say. Well, anyways, Dr. Q has some insight of some stuff, and I want to make something clear. We had a bet. He paid. He paid today. He wired me the money. He wired me the $2,000 that we made the bet on that something big was going to happen this weekend. Nothing happened. Joe Biden's still president. He's $2,000 less in his bank account. That being said, Dr. Q, what is the latest in the Q community? And first of all, clarify something for me. Viking King, or whatever the hell, I call him Viking King because I don't know who the hell he is. Is he part of the Q community? Well, who is he?
No, he's Antifa.
How do you know this? Because he's been in every rally that has to do with QAnon or whatever.
Yeah, he was undercover Antifa.
Okay. So give us an inside, because a lot of people, look, nobody has Parler anymore. And Parler is a place where people can express whatever thoughts they have on the QAnon community and all that stuff. And people still want to feel hopeful. And I don't want to take that away from them. It's good to be hopeful. Hopeful sometimes, and you and me both know, sometimes being hopeful in the worst situations in life can get you through those moments in life. So go ahead and move forward with what you've heard down the grapevine through your contacts in the QAnon community.
I mean, from what I understand, through my contacts, as I explained to you before, Donald Trump definitely, invoked the.
Listen, guys, I'm sorry to cut you off. I will not cut you off again. Now I remember what he did. He literally criticized Donald Trump and called Donald Trump a xenophobe for banning Muslim banning Muslim countries. He is now banning countries in South Africa, the UK, and when his press secretary was asked that question, she juggled it around and didn't even have a proper explanation for it. Again, hypocrisy, double standards at its finest. Go ahead, Dr. Q. I will not interrupt you again. I apologize.
Thank you, sir. So, like I said, he did invoke the Insurrection Act. So that means at this point in time, I am I have complete understanding that we are under martial law. So when it comes to that point where we're under martial law, the president, Donald J. Trump, has complete control no matter what. No matter if you think he does or doesn't, he does. And until the bad actors are in prison, which is Biden and et cetera, et cetera.
Would Fauci count in there? I'm just curious because, I mean, would Fauci be considered in that group of people that would be arrested? Because, I mean, the guy's making 400 and something thousand a year. I mean, that's ridiculous. He's making more than the president of the United States. Just saying.
Yeah. He's definitely in those indictments. Those indictments are there. They're sealed. So as soon as they get unsealed, everybody's going to know what happened. But I can tell you that what is happening, we're not going to know anymore. Okay? It got to that point where there is no more planning. Everything's done and everything's, on point and ready to go. And it's slowly going as we, we sit here. But, it's going to be dripping out. Okay? Like look what happened to Rothschilds. What was his name? The young one that just died?
He passed away from a heart attack.
Yeah,
I forgot his name. He was a banker. He was
No, he was the next top Rothschild. That's
he was a banker. I mean, that's what he.
No, it doesn't matter. He was the top next one in line to be basically the ruler of the world. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And he's dead. So that should tell you something right there. Okay, there is no more big, banks out there or anything. That, the World Bank or the Vatican Bank. All that's taken out. Okay, now it has to do with all Congress. All Congress, basically Washington D.C. They're all there. So I would say, to QAnons, QAnon people, I don't like calling them that. It's call them Qs. And to the Patriots, listening, just hold on to your hats. I can promise you, the reason why I can say this is because I have complete faith, okay? Faith is from God. God gives you good intuition, okay? You just have to know when he's telling you something's happening, okay? You just know. It's hard to explain, but you just know. In your gut feeling, God gives you this intuition that you just know. So I know that shit is happening right now, okay? I'll tell you right now, I don't care what they say. Last night, that the blackout was not something that was nothing. I have a feeling we're going to see something very, very soon. Maybe
Explain
that was
the blackout. A lot of people don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Capitol, the monument.
I mean, look,
the White House.
break it down exactly, because you have to go through hell and back to find it. And it's been reported by big news outlets, but they kind of like dig it, where you have to actually search. So you have to go through DuckDuck, whatever that shit's called. So explain what happened, the events that occurred 2 days ago.
So, from what I understand, the monument, the White House, and the Capitol, basically all that the whole downtown was completely blacked out from 3 to 6 in the morning. So they're trying to say, oh, they do that all the time, blah blah blah. It's never been ever shown that it actually has happened before. Okay, so I think something major is going on. I personally think that whole thing is a prison there, and maybe they lock everything down and shut everything down at a certain time. That's what I think. They do that in prisons all the time. You know that, So I personally think it's a prison. So you just have to have faith. You have to just it comes to this point now that it's just almost over. Like all the eggs are in a basket, and it's happening, but it's going to be a slow drip. Okay, Donald Trump's not going to show his hand. Okay, he's going to do a slow drip, and he's going to just start taking them out one by one, little by little, small actors. Then the big actors are going to come in, at last, and that's when all hell is going to break loose. That's why they have the military there. They're going to stay there for the impeachment bullshit. Just I'm telling you right now, keep your hats on. It's going to be a good roller coaster ride, and it's going to be exciting. And at the end, we're all going to be happy, unless you're a Biden supporter.
Again, guys, I can't deny nor confirm any of this. I can't tell you Americans are not real happy right now. 1 of 5 Americans have confidence that Biden can actually support the country, unite the country. I'm sorry. That's a really bad stat. I mean, and it's more like 80% of Americans have no confidence Joe Biden can unite the country. Now, very simple little breakdown on just what Joe Biden's accomplishment in less than 72 hours, okay? Joe Biden, less than 72 hours, killed 70,000 plus jobs, eliminated women's sports, invaded Syria, left National Guard to freeze in a garage, admitted he doesn't have a plan to fight COVID, broke his own mask mandate, ended U.S. energy independence. And it will continue. This list will grow and continue to grow and continue to grow unless something happens, unless something drastic happens. And at this point, I mean, anything Dr. Q says, I'm praying for. I'm willing to pay him back the $2,000 because I don't want to see this country fall apart. And I don't think any American does. We love this country too much. We're all patriots. We adore this country. This is the best country in the world. And Joe Biden's destroying it. I mean, do I believe that there's a possibility Trump put something in play? Yes. Do I believe that he enacted the Insurrection Act? No. The reason I say that is because something would have already happened. Okay, and this is the problem with the whole QAnon community and the things that they say. It's going to happen before the impeachment. I mean, before January 6th. It's going to happen after January 6th. It's going to happen on January 6th. No, it's going to happen when the inauguration takes place. That way the crime is completely committed and everything is done and we see who was involved in the crime. That never happened. The only thing that gives me a little glimpse, but then there's also other factors into it, is the fact that the National Guard is staying there till March. Now, fun fact, and this isn't QAnon conspiracy, Donald Trump is literally staying in the second White House. This is a fact. The Mar-a-Lago was actually government owned and was considered a place where they used to bring delegates and different people from all over the world to meet. Donald Trump proposed to purchase it before buying it. He purchased it. He offered $15 million for it. They refused. It was too expensive for the government to maintain. So to make a long story short, he ended up buying it. He ended up buying it for $7 million because he bought the surrounding land around it, forcing them to kind of sell it to him for half the price that he originally wanted it for. That's why he's such a good businessman. That's why he was such a great president. An amazing negotiator. So technically, he's kind of living in a form of a White House. He's created his own office for almost like an office of like a previous president, I guess. Former president, the office of former president affairs. He's planning something. Do I think it's anything related to what our good friend Dr. Q here said? No. I think he's planning on dismantling the Republican Party. I think he's planning on putting in America First and outsiders and anybody who goes against him and he sees that they betrayed him during the impeachment. Any senators, they will be taken out. I don't think he's creating a new party. I think he's going to do the best thing, the second best thing, which is, because creating a new party would be devastating. We would never win an election again. So he's doing a smarter thing. He's making the Republican Party what it's supposed to be. We already know the left is crazy. That's not something that's new to us. We already know based on their agenda and their continuous erection for Donald J. Trump, they're not going to stop. They continue to push this forward. They're mad that the Supreme Court today made a decision based on, what was the decision? Now I can't remember. My God, I have these brain farts. SCOTUS ruled against, SCOTUS ruled in favor of Donald J. Trump. I think it's related to his taxes. I'm not sure. If it's no, it's not related to his taxes.
It has to do with him receiving foreign payments or something like that.
Okay, yeah, it had to do with okay. I have with him receiving funds while he was president of the United States. Like if he was profiting while he was making, Supreme Court apparently ruled in favor of him. That being said, I don't know what Q knows.
Not just that.
It was more than that.
Everything that was against him, they threw out.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, look, again, this is a witch hunt, has been a witch hunt. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Dr. Q.
Yeah, I got you. All right.
Okay, so this has been a witch hunt from the get-go. It has been, and I'm glad that Ducey, I'm very proud of Ducey asking these tough questions to the speaker, the press secretary or whatever. I'm glad he's asking these tough questions because he's embarrassing the shit out of them because they're not prepared. This is what we are witnessing, the most unprepared, most ridiculous presidential cabinet, president, vice president ever. When a party literally needs to pick a vice president based on skin color and based on their race and whether or not they're female or male is ridiculous. It should be based on their qualifications and if they're what the people want and if they're qualified to be in that position. You don't go to a hospital saying, if you're an African American, you don't walk into a hospital and say, I want a black doctor. You're obviously going to want the best doctor, right? I would assume you would want the best care. Same thing for this country. But apparently the Democrats think completely different. And since they rigged the election, they choose how they want to do it. They needed somebody they can easily control. The man is signing documents and he doesn't seem to know what the hell he's even signing. I mean, it's seriously.
Come on, man.
So Dr. Q brings up a lot of his interesting topics. But again, I have strongly urged him not to bet anymore. Dr. Q has a very huge gambling problem for Trump. And Donald Trump, if you are listening, President Trump, I will always call you President Trump. I'm sorry. President Trump, if you are listening right now, this man has betted with every single person you can think of that you are fighting and that you still have a chance. For the love of God, if you do not have insurrection in the works, can you please wire this man 50 grand so he can get himself out of the hole he put himself into? Because, I mean, I'm going to tell you, I'm a strong Trump supporter. But Dr. Q has really surpassed me. I mean, he has betted so much money on Trump. I mean, the confidence that he has in President Trump is beyond anything I have ever witnessed. And I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna be honest, he's one of the most honorable people I know, because any other person would have probably not paid the debt. You know, I mean, he came through with his word. I mean, he paid his debt, wired the money for the bet, even though he lost and everything. He wired it, and he paid somebody else. Oh, somebody who was on this podcast, Mark, who placed a bet for $100 as well. And so far, I just see a Joe Biden presidency, and I see Dr. Q's bank accounts diminishing. That's what I see right now. But Dr. Q, again, go.
Do not see that.
You do not see that, but I do see it when the money's going into my bank
I see
account.
my bank account replenishing
You
from
see,
everybody that owes me back. the
so
money I gave.
okay, let me ask you this. Then what are they waiting for? Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Do you feel homeless in today's American political world? Not really into either candidate or party? Well, guess what? You're not alone. Join me and others just like you across this great country for a discussion of politics from a viewpoint that you can't find in today's media. The Middle. I'm your host, Brian Grozier, and I invite you to join in on the discussion by downloading and listening to the Middle American Podcast.
I mean, it's a war game. You know what I mean? Like he's basically letting them hang themselves. You know, it's almost like he's the puppet master without them realizing it. You know, he's letting them hang themselves by giving them, you know, the opportunities to do what they want to do, and letting the people, you know, the American people see everything that they're actually doing. They're destroying the country.
Okay,
So-
but that's not the point. Look, the point is he would have done the Insurrection Act because the election was stolen or rigged, right?
It's more. There's more involved than that.
Okay,
It's
but
the
that's
big
the
thing for
premises
everybody.
of the whole insurrection. That's why he had the executive order in place. If
That's
any,
not
if you
true.
had any domestic
True.
or foreign interference, he could
Right.
enact the Insurrection Act, right?
Right.
That's what's in the executive order. So that being said, right now they're shredding any evidence of election fraud that occurred in any of these states.
I
All-
know it's already there. We have it all, so it doesn't matter.
Why
what
do you
they
say
shred, whatever
we? Why do you say we? Have you seen it?
Well, I'm just saying that, like, you know, we haven't heard, us, the American people, haven't heard the real
Okay.
facts yet. You heard.
I mean, I
what
saw
you heard,
enough.
That's it.
I saw enough to know the election was rigged. I didn't need to see any more.
Of course.
I mean, what Rudy
What I'm saying is
Giuliani
that-
and these people presented just based on legislative law and the witnesses, I trust American
Right.
people. I trust people that have nothing to gain by sitting there and signing an affidavit knowing they can face 5 years in prison, in federal prison. I have no reason to believe that those people are willing to put their lives on the line, and their freedom on the line on a bogus claim. Just don't see it.
Of course, but
We believe
But what
one
I'm saying,
whistleblower
Dave-
against Donald Trump, but we don't believe thousands of witnesses for Donald Trump. I mean, it's kind of a double standard there, but again, and now they
Okay,
want to
but what I'm
eliminate the
saying-
filibuster, which is the funniest thing, because they actually used the filibuster to stop Donald Trump from getting more stimulus. See the double standard here? They're trying to terminate the filibuster but when they were the minority, the Democrats, they actually used it.
Right.
Interesting. This is just a very interesting turn of events, and the hypocrisy is just beyond my understanding. But go on with your bad self. What were you gonna say?
I don't know. You kept interrupting me like 10 times. I really
Okay,
forget what
listen,
was
I
gonna
I gave you the platform for a while. Come on, man.
Right.
Come on, man.
Number one. Number one. Did you hear what they're doing with the COVID testing, the PCR?
Yeah, apparently you have to test like 4 times or something positive before it's.
No. Now they're desensitizing the PCR test, where they're making it so it's more reliable, and they could have done this a long time ago, but they did it on purpose, so it's so sensitive, so anybody and everybody has COVID.
Well, I mean,
Now-
there's so many things they could have done. Why didn't Jeff Bezos step up when Donald Trump was president? He's not willing to step up for Joe Biden and help get the
course.
vaccines out there quicker. Why didn't he do this when Trump was in office? If they really cared about people's lives and the vaccine was so crucial, where was Jeff Bezos? No, Jeff Bezos was in his house making millions and millions, no, fuck millions, billions of dollars off of people's lockdowns because he's the one that benefited the most off these lockdowns. Go on.
Okay. So what this is going to do is the reason why the numbers were so freaking high is because you can have a cold and you're getting positive tests for COVID. That's what the tests show. It's basically showing one genome and one organism. So for it to be COVID, number one, you have to have more than one of each, and they weren't doing that, and they were just acting like that's the way it is, but it's not, and now it's proven because now they're going to make it less sensitive, and it's going to prove that somebody does have COVID or not, and numbers are going to dramatically drop. Dramatically. You're going to see them dramatically drop out of nowhere. And they're going to say, oh, yeah, Biden did great for COVID. Oh, my, you know what I mean? Now everything's coming towards Biden's way. They're opening up everything now because Biden's president. Well, he's not president, but, they're making it sound like he is. And
I knew you were going to say that.
So that's my point. It's just going to be like crazy. Like you're going to see things change dramatically as the numbers, but our country's just going to keep going down the road. And I predict that once Biden starts, throwing some executive orders that are really going to hinder, the United States, I think that's when Trump's going to, move in.
He's already done that.
From what I understand, every executive order that Biden wrote out, from what I understand, Trump has one that is countering every one of them. So,
from your understanding, do you have sources that are telling you this?
Yeah.
Okay, that didn't sound too confident there. It seems like you're creating this.
I do. No, I do.
But
are they? Are they like phenomenal?
I can tell you something. After January 20th, from January 20th on, every death in this country is in Joe Biden's hands. Joe Biden promoted and kept saying throughout the entire campaign trail, every time we saw him for about 15 minutes, that he had a master plan, and apparently he has none. He had a master plan on how he was going to curve this and he was going to make it go away. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The ball's in his court. And now he's saying that he cannot change the trajectory because he is a plagiarism. All he knows how to do is do plagiarism. All he knows how to do is lie. All he knows how to do is deceive people. And you are seeing it right in front of you. And let me tell you, all of you guys that are feeling down and out that Donald Trump is not your president right now, don't feel that way. You can now laugh at everybody that voted for Joe Biden. I've said this numerous times in my podcast and in my streams. I know I was on the right side of history. Always knew it. Everybody laughed at me and they go, no, we're on the right side. The lefties were always, oh, we're on the right side. I knew I was on the right side of history. This man is a job killer. And as I've called him, Wrecking Ball Joe, executive order by executive order, he's destroying this country. And this is without the Senate and the House getting involved yet. Let's wait for that showdown. When they begin, if you guys beat Pete Buttigieg or whatever his name is, he wants to tax. He wants to tax you for every mile you drive in this country. How crazy and bizarre does that sound? Yes, he's saying
he's making more money off you.
Yes, he's saying that he means people like Jeff Bezos, like Amazon, people that are using public roads to make money and all that. But come on, let's be real here. They're going to try to do it to everybody. This is what the left does. They tax the hell out of you so they can pay all these ridiculous programs that they're trying to create where the money swindles, goes to one hand to the other and ends up back in their hands. Okay, something that should disgust the hell out of everybody, the new stimulus package. Okay, the new stimulus package, $4 billion is going to Central and South America to help them rebuild their countries. $4 billion out of $1.9 trillion is going to other countries. And they give us a measly $1,400. This should upset everybody. This should really upset everybody. I'm not advocating for anything, but people, I mean, we should be protesting in the streets. We should not be allowing this to happen. But I know that we all feel depressed right now. We all feel down and out, and none of us really want to take that step forward. But what they're doing in this country is beyond my understanding. And we are seeing how important Trump was and what a key player he was to America's greatness. Dr. Q, take over. What's up?
So what I understand, like I said, I explained to you that I think Washington, D.C. is a complete prison right now, and for good.
At least from the outside, that's what it looks like. I mean, I mean, if you didn't know anything about politics and you were a person that was looking at the news and they were showing you images of Washington, D.C., you would be like, fuck, that's a prison. I mean, at least, exactly. I mean, forget politics. If you were to look at it from an outside point of view and you were not, you knew nothing that was going on, and you looked at that, the first thing that would come in your mind, you would be like, oh my God, these people are locked up in there.
Right.
I mean, I can agree with that. It does look like a prison.
Right. So I think that, from my sources, nothing, really high class, security sources that I know, anything like that. But from what I understand, that Donald Trump is making his own pretty much White House. It's gonna be their government. It's gonna be a new government under the original Constitution. This corporation Constitution is dissolved, and all Washington D.C. is going to be completely dismantled. So it's
do
all
not
under
be
the
fooled. Look, the biggest thing that people can be fooled by, the thing that should be scaring all Republicans and Democrats right now, and I'm not talking about the American people, the politicians, is the fact that Donald Trump has been extremely quiet. A man that is not commonly known for being quiet. He's obviously being strategic, and he's obviously planning something. What it is, God knows. But he's obviously got a plan.
They're scared to death.
But
they have no clue what's going on.
Absolutely. And they know that he is the Republican Party. They are no longer the Republican Party. America's sick of these guys that go in there promising the world and coming out of there richer than they came in and doing absolutely nothing for the working class and for Americans in general. One thing I always had respect about Donald Trump, people used to call him a racist. He took it like a champ. They used to call him everything in the book. But the man helped America because he looked at America not by identity and not by skin color. He looked at all Americans equal, and everything that he did for America was to help everyone across the board that was American. Now all we got is caravans heading in our direction, massive caravans. Guatemalan couldn't stop them, so they've already been crossing over and demanding asylum. So again, this is going to affect all Americans, including the ones that we already have here that are illegal in this country, that are trying to become legal, that have lived here for 20 years trying to become legal. This is affecting you guys too. Having massive amounts of people coming in at one time, a surge like this during a so-called pandemic, extremely weird and extremely odd. But again, this is Joe Biden. What the hell can we expect? The guy was never good on foreign policy. The guy graduated almost last in his class. He was a doofus. He was a horrible vice president. What was the worst senator? I think, in my mind at least, he was the worst senator. I mean, again, he treated African Americans as if they were property. I mean, if it didn't disgust the African American community when he said that one comment, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, almost as if you're part of his property and he's telling you, listen, you got to vote for me. I mean, that is the most racist thing anyone can say. He said it and he was forgiven. Nobody brought it up. Only the right-wing media brought it up. But CNN and everybody, look at CNN's website right now. Go to CNN's website right now, and all you will see is positive praises on Joe Biden. As if that guy's accomplished so much. One of the greatest presidents of our time. One of the most religious presidents of our time. Yeah, he's trying to retract a lot of the abortion laws that Donald Trump put into play. A lot of the executive orders Donald Trump put into play protecting from people just being able to have abortions. But again, he's great. He's super religious. Apparently being pro-choice is religious. Reality, if you are pro-choice, you can't be religious, because abortion and pro-life is one of the biggest foundations of our religious communities here. So again, I don't understand how this man can be by any means religious and claim to be religious. Suddenly you see him everywhere praying, and Mitch McConnell praying with him. I mean, where was his prayers before? I've never seen that man pray one time while he was vice president. I never even saw him mention religion when he was vice president. Again, these are just things, and while he was senator too. But again, look, Kamala Harris is learning from the best. She's plagiarizing Martin Luther King. I mean, learn behaviors. Kamala Harris is learning from I guess what she thinks is the best, because he's been a horrible plagiarizer. I mean, he's been caught so many times plagiarizing. I mean, it's ridiculous. This goes as far as college. What's that, Q?
I said, so is she.
Yeah, I mean, she
called plagiarizing.
She was just recently caught plagiarizing Martin Luther King.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. It's both of them. It's like they have nothing else to say because they can't come up with their own shit, you know?
Okay, now, Q. Now let's go back to the real world now. Let's go back to the real world. Hypothetically speaking, let's say everything that you're saying is wrong, and there's a very strong chance that's possible. I would say 99.9% chance that is possible. Where do you see the Republican Party going from here?
Nowhere. I've seen them completely dismantled. I see the American people not falling for it anymore. But definitely not just because they're going to be dismantled. I don't think that the liberal party is going to Democrat Party is going to be there either. I think they're going to be dismantled. I think there's going to be new parties. That's what I think.
Well, I don't think there's going to be new parties. I just think there's going to be new leaders in those parties. I think we're going to wipe them clean. I think the progressives are doing a very good job at taking over the Democratic Party. And that's a bad thing, because we've already seen that the majority of America doesn't want progressive movements. They don't want socialism. They don't want any of that. And for the left, that's really bad. For the right, on the other hand, I see some promise. Whereas others are seeing negativity, I see some promise. I see Donald Trump campaigning his ass off in 2022 for all these candidates. Yeah, against candidates that are sitting there, that have been sitting there for a long time, that they're rhinos. I could see him picking his own people that have similar ideologies that he has about the future of America, and replacing all these older people that have been there for a long time. I'm
being called the Republican Party.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud of somebody. I'm going to give him an acknowledgement. Ted Cruz put out today a bill to put terms on senators and congressmen. I've never, I mean, that is something Trump ran on in 2016, and I was all for it. And that would eliminate a lot of in a way it won't, because then lobbying will become cheaper. Because basically, that person's not going to be in office a long time, so they're not going to ask for that much money to do certain things. But I think at some point, these people need to retire, and at some point, these people need to go away and let fresh blood come in, people with different ideas, different ideologies. And that's how we evolve as a society. But that being said, overall, they should also be making it illegal to lobby politicians. And we can thank Newt Gingrich for that one. To be honest with you, he was the one that was for that. So he made that happen, the whole lobbying situation. But again, we could blame a lot of Republicans and Democrats from both sides. They've made numerous mistakes. I want to go back to something Dr. Q said. Dr. Q had mentioned to me, and I actually did some research on Senator McCain. Dr. Q said that he was a traitor. Dr. Q said that it was all a political stunt. Maybe the wording that Dr. Q said wasn't the proper wording. But yeah, from what I've been looking at, it does seem as if McCain may not have been that tough McCain he made himself out to look like. I would definitely take 10 witnesses that were POWs with him over his word. Just saying. I did see the video that Dr. Q was showing. A lot of people that were there with him said that the man was not really this hero that everybody looks at him like. So, Dr. Q, I will give you props on that. I mean, I'm leaning more towards believing you right now on that.
Well, that's something. Yeah. I can't wait till it all comes true. And
well, I mean, we got 3,000. Well, how much money do we have here betting? How much are we betting here? Because I mean, you have it written down. What's the bets here?
We have another. Oh, I'll tell you right now.
He's got it written down, ladies and gentlemen. There's no bullshit either.
Oh yeah, I do. Fucking A, I do.
Come on, man.
Anytime now.
Oh, come on, quit that shit.
All right, then I'll put something that's funnier.
Donald John Trump incited the erection.
Shoot, I'm gonna shorten that up though, and it's gonna be erection. And whenever I want to cut somebody off, I'm just gonna put erection.
All right, so it's $1,000 that there's aliens among us. There's $1,000 JFK Jr. is coming back. It's $1,000. He's alive and he's coming back. $1,000 that there's clones among us, and they've been here for many years. And $1,000 that Donald Trump is the richest man on earth.
Okay, now. Okay, when is there an expiration date for this? That's my question because, for example, like some of these bets can take 10 years, for God's sakes. I mean, for example, how are you going to prove to me that there's aliens that are walking amongst us?
Because it's all going to come out.
Okay,
Donald Trump's going to release it all.
Okay, now, what if a new report comes out on Forbes and Donald Trump says the value of what he's worth, and he's not the richest man in the world? Are you going to pay up?
Of course, but it's not. It's not going to be like they're not going to give you.
What makes you think Donald Trump is the richest man in the world? I just don't understand this bet.
Because I know what he has done and what he continues to do, and what happened.
This makes no sense. Why would he have acquired money to become the richest man in the world while he was president of the United States? It doesn't even make any sense.
It's not that. It's not. It's not a bad thing. It's a very good thing. It's pretty much he's the one in charge, and he's the one that we trust from everything that he has done and he is doing. He's taken down the whole deep state, and the deep state is not just Congress.
What does that have to do with money and value?
The whole world.
I can already tell you how much he's estimated to be worth.
Yeah, that's
2.5 billion. He was worth 3.5, and they say that he's lost approximately $1 billion since he walked into office.
Yeah. Wow.
So I mean, when does that bet come up?
The timeline is when he comes back.
Okay, we have to have okay. So if he doesn't come back, I win all the bets.
No, where do you get that shit?
I mean, because when am I gonna have? I mean, how long is this bet gonna last? We have to have some sort of like. I mean, if something's gonna, I mean, what am I gonna be waiting for 20 years? I mean, Donald Trump's gonna be 6 feet under. We're still gonna be going with this whole. I mean, you said when Trump comes back, he's gonna expose that. So
right.
let's specify this bet a little bit.
Let's give it. Let's give it 6 months.
Jesus, 6 months I gotta wait for the money.
It could be before that, but I'm just saying.
I mean, you could just go ahead and wire it already. I mean, you lost this bet as well. I mean, if you want to if you want me to be real with you, I mean, you could just go to the bank again and just wire it into my account just again. I mean,
as soon as he takes over again, which will be way before 6 months. But I'm just saying, just for the heck of it.
No, you're not saying it for the heck of it. You're saying it for the sake of your $4,000 is what you're saying.
All knowledge is going to come out. So
okay, so when if the military leaves Washington D.C., they take down all the fences, they take everything down. Donald Trump starts campaigning. What then? I mean, how long are you going to continue with this?
6 months.
6 months.
At the most. At the longest, yes.
Okay, so today's January. So I got to wait till June 25th.
Yep.
June 26th.
But it won't be that long. I'm just doing that for now.
Mark it on your calendars, guys. I will be doing a giveaway of money, courtesy of Dr. Q on June 26th. I will be giving away to some lucky listeners. Okay, guys, I did want to make an announcement. If you guys want to give a shout out, if you guys want to say something and you want it to show up on the podcast, and you want other Americans to listen to it, if you have an opinion that you guys want to give out, if there's anything you want to comment on, you guys can feel free to record it right off your iPhone. You guys can feel free to send me an audio clip, and you can email it directly to me at republicannation@gmail.com. Just the letter A, republicannation@gmail.com, or you can shoot it over to me via Instagram, Twitter. If you guys want to just say anything on this program, if you want to give your input, if you want to say some words of wisdom, if you want to do anything like that, feel free to shoot me over an email, and I will be more than glad to I love my supporters. I get messages every day. Apparently more messages for Dr. Q. You guys are making me feel neglected here because Dr. Q keeps getting more attention than I do. People actually send me emails when he's not on the show, and they're asking me, where is he? Where's Dr. Q's info? But let me just make this very clear. Dr. Q's info, he's already lost a bet with me. So I would go with the guy that's winning the bets, I would assume.
We're now.
I mean, again, he's got till Friday.
All good things come to those who wait.
All good things
Patience
come
is
to
a virtue.
Okay, those are nice things, but I mean, Friday's TikTok. I mean, listen, I've known him for a long time. He's a fighter. He's definitely a fighter. He's the type of guy that he's like, look at him like the Rocky Balboa for Donald Trump. Yeah, I mean, he'll keep getting knocked out. The only difference is he'll fall like Apollo Creed. So he's a fighter like Rocky, but then ends up getting crushed like Apollo Creed.
Hey, I'm not down yet, so
I mean, you're down $2,000, so you just got hit with a right hook.
Yeah, I got knocked down, but I'm not knocked out.
No, you're not knocked down. You took a right hook, but by Friday, you've taken about 10 or 15 right hooks and an uppercut, and they're counting down, and you're like at 7 right now.
It's me getting hit by what's his name? Was it Clubber? What was his name?
The Russian?
Mr. T?
Oh no.
T.
I don't remember. I don't remember Mr. T's name in the movie. That's.
Remember he was like, he's like, ain't so bad. Come on, ain't so bad. He kept hitting him, and just he's just been taking his punches. So that's me. Ain't so bad.
He's so bad. I mean, yeah, but the problem is you're gonna be like Apollo Creed. You're not gonna get up.
No.
One of those punches are gonna lay you the fuck out.
Nope.
Look, man, I admire the confidence, and I think that it's good that me and you can have these conversations, and I think it's healthy for people to have a laugh at everything that's going on right now. I mean, we don't know what the outcome of the future of this country is. It's not looking very promising from where I'm standing right now. It's looking like a disaster. But again, in darkness, when there's so much darkness, there's always light at the end. And
you're looking at what is right in front of you. That's what you're looking at. I'm looking at
the facts,
what
man.
You don't see that I've seen.
But so that could also be what a schizophrenic says. I mean, again, they could be seeing things that I don't see, but they're not there. You know what I mean?
Mostly anything that I see, not all of it, because I have some other connections, but mostly everything I've seen, if you took the oath under Q, you would see it too. So that's to your listeners.
Well, I mean, another update. The Pope did another mass again this last weekend. So apparently he's not arrested.
Listen,
And apparently Hillary Clinton was not arrested either because she was dressed like a plum on inauguration day. So apparently she
and you believe okay.
But I mean,
I'm
again,
telling you
Dr.
right
Q
now,
did tell me
wasn't real.
she was a clone. I mean, she is a clone.
She was not real.
Okay, that looked just like Hillary Clinton. Apparently, they've managed to age people extremely well. I mean, if you would have told me, told me doubles, I would have believed you more. But the fact that you're telling me clones, that's very out there.
Clones can they perfected it. You can look your exact age, whatever. They literally perfected it.
Come on, man.
Starting to sound a little
Come
like.
on, man. No, you're gonna owe me $1,000. So.
I mean, again.
Come on, man.
I mean, I don't even have answers to some of these conspiracies you have. I mean, they're just so far beyond. I mean, again.
That's the right wording. Conspiracy, not theory. Conspiracy.
Well, when I'm saying it, I'm not saying a theory would actually be a conspiracy theory. What I mean, some of these, I think you're straight up a conspiracy.
Thinking about it, but it's not true.
I mean, again, I think that you are. Everything that you are saying is 150% non-factual. Do I believe in extraterrestrial life? Absolutely. That would be ignorant of me thinking that we are the only people on this planet. That would be stupid of me to think that. Do I think they've been on our planet? Yeah. Do I think that there's a possibility that I do not believe they walk amongst us?
Okay.
I don't believe they live with us. No, I don't. I think their technology is, if they're as advanced to get to our planet, okay, if they're so advanced to travel galaxies away to get to our planet, their level of intelligence is so beyond our understanding that we wouldn't even be able to detect them if they were here. Okay, so which is why, and let's not forget, I was looking into some of the sightings that people have claimed. There has been some legitimate sightings that people have claimed, but a lot of them have been debunked. A lot of them.
By who? By who?
By scientists that have researched it, and they found out that it had to do with lighting.
Anymore? I don't.
I mean, depends what scientists you're talking about. I mean,
I've seen pictures, I've seen videos, I've seen,
you do realize there's something called Photoshop and editor and effects and all that stuff, right?
Of course.
I mean, there is these mysterious. There's like these 10 mysterious pictures that nobody has ever been able to debunk, which is kind of interesting. If you guys look it up on YouTube, you can actually find it. It's actually I think the title's like 10 mysterious pictures of our time or something like that. One of them happens to be a picture of an old lady that was there during John F. Kennedy's death. And she was literally right by the car when he got shot. She was everywhere, and the FBI could not find her for the life of them. She shows up in so many different pictures. Just like there's one of the time traveler man, where he's dressed pretty modern, and he's like hanging out. And then there's one of a video of a movie where it looks like somebody's walking by in a black and white movie where somebody's walking by with a cell phone in their hands. And they're talking on the cell phone, and people are like, what the hell? I mean, there's a couple little mysteries, some untold mysteries that are pretty interesting. And there is some miracles that because I've been looking into this. I have been trying to do research as factual as humanly possible.
That's another one of our bets, Jay.
Huh?
That's another one of our bets.
What?
That there's time travel.
Well, time travel's already been proven. Our bet was that Donald Trump traveled through time.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think he did. Because I think he would have prevented them from I think he would not have signed the stimulus check.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's $5,000 more.
No, you mean that's altogether an extra 1,000. But yeah, I mean, look, okay. Time travel has been proven that we can go. I believe we could send messages couple seconds into the future, back to the future. I'm not sure which one it is, but this has already been tested. This is not anything new. I would not take everything Dr. Q says. He's very entertaining. He's a good friend of mine. We're going to start going straight into policies now and talking about the mistakes Joe Biden has been making. I just wanted to clear up the air because Dr. Q did come through at the end of his deal, and he is a man of his word. He paid his lost bet, and he'll most likely pay the other $5,000 too. I mean, there's a couple there that I think I'm never going to see the money for because I think it's just going to be so difficult to prove, which is the cloning and the aliens walking amongst us. That was like a trick bet because I think that it's a lose-lose for me. So I don't think I'm going to be able to ever get the truth on that one, but definitely JFK, I'm going to catch you on that one in 6 months. I'm definitely going to catch you in 6 months on Trump's wealth and time traveling. Because if nothing changes in 6 months, that means he never traveled through time and you are full of shit.
Yes.
Would you like to go ahead and say closing statement, Mr. Dr. Q?
Yes, I would just say to your listeners that, if you believe in God, you have faith, and you don't go by what you see. You go by what you feel. And listen to anybody, anything that they're stating, that nothing's happening. Because I can promise you that our president, Donald J. Trump, is appointed by God. Okay? Have faith in him. Have faith in the process. Have faith in everything he's doing, because on the end, it's going to be victorious, and we're going to be so happy in the original Constitution.
Okay, now I'm not going to debunk anything he said. I'm not going to criticize it because those are very nice words. And I want my audience to be optimistic, and I want my audience to be hopeful. So that was a very beautiful statement from Dr. Q. I just want to close out by saying, if you guys, and really I said it before, but since it's at the ending of the show, I want you guys to if you guys would like to send audio, questions, if you guys want to put a question on the air, if you guys want to send a message to a loved one, if you guys just want to talk about your political view on a specific subject, whatever the case may be, feel free to shoot me an MP3 or a WAV file. You can do it it's super easy off your phone or whatever. And you can shoot it to me at my email address. It's republicannation@gmail.com. Just the letter A, republicannation@gmail.com. And I'll put it on the air. I give everybody a voice. This is a place where I will give all my Republican followers and even left-wingers, anyone. I will give you a voice. I will give you a voice. I love our First Amendment rights, and I will fight for them till the end. Dr. Q, thank you so much for being on the show today again. He's pretty much my co-host, guys. I've pretty much hired him with no pay. So, so God bless you, Dr. Q. God bless everyone out there. God bless America. And God bless all of your families. Stay safe out there. Don't lose hope, like Dr. Q said. Have faith in God. He's above everything. And have a wonderful day. And thank you for tuning in on this beautiful morning.
America great again.
Hey, this is Corey Lewandowski, and I just want to call and say thank you for all that you're doing to run your small podcast called The Republican Nation. Look, I know that it's not easy sometimes to run a podcast, but I want to call and say thank you for having everybody tune into The Republican Nation, where America always comes first. So let's keep America great. Let's continue to support President Trump and all those that have supported him throughout the last 5 years. I can tell you something, that our fight is not over. We'll continue to make sure that we're putting America first, and that those on the left who want to have socialism determine our future will never be successful. All the best to you, and there's still more fight in us. You take care.